Learned that the US government carved out a secret underground city that they can flee to in case nuclear war breaks out. Raven Rock, like Area 51, is one of the government's most classified projects, titled Continuity of Government, or Project COG. And one individual who worked down there for 3.5 years for the first time ever spoke on camera, describing to Vice what it's like down there. Located 768 feet below ground, it can withstand a direct nuclear hit. It's protected by not only one, but two 3.5-foot thick doors, weighing 30 tons each, and is built on top of springs to survive the shockwaves of a nuclear blast. He describes how there are 5 separate 3-story buildings, and of the 15 floors in total, each are big enough to hold 50 to 80 offices. It's described as an underground city because they have a cafeteria, barbershop, massive water reservoirs, generators, a crematorium, post office, medical facilities, and a command center capable of operating a nuclear war front. And although this was created for the threat that never arrived in the 1950s, in 2023, some spring cleaning may be in order.
Shalom Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, all honor and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekakadash. That belongs to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us his true peace and blessings. To the hopeful like divisible and Shalom. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly ancient Hebrew. Bahashem means the name, and Yahweh Shai is the name of the only begotten Son. Back on our lesson. And today we're going to dive into the deep underground cities that these devils have, and will especially be using in these last days in order to try to flee away and try to hide and escape their coming judgment. But as many scriptures go into how they will not be able to. The Lord uses elect men, angels, especially Leviathan. Because you'll see many movies, TV shows, and cartoons of this, the type of things that these devils have, the type of technology and things that they are, preparing to use coming to the last days, dealing with these robots and all that. But especially just dealing with, these certain bases and all this stuff. There's little examples and a little taste of, things that they have. Going to show the pride of this devil. Which, going back to when I was saying Leviathan, they show you like a little example in the movie Godzilla. I believe it's the first, I think it's the second one, where they're pretty much, observing, Leviathan, Godzilla under the water in this, pretty much like underwater base. Just an example of this type of thing these devils have and will especially be fleeing to. Dealing with these space stations and all that in order to try to hide. But once again, it's time to scriptures and, prove it. It's kind of a similar lesson I made, I believe, like last week. Going into these underground tunnels that they have and use to transport goods deep underground, and maybe already transporting goods to these underground cities, man. Because you're seeing the things that is happening going on now, and won't be surprised if they're hiding there already, man. With the things that are going on, you're dealing with these elites, the top echelon of Esau, Edom. Isaiah 2:19, and they shall go into the holes of the rocks and into the caves of the earth. Let's read that one more time. And they shall go into the holes of the rocks, into the caves of the earth. Fleeing into these things, these are bunkers, deep underground, and all these different bases that they have, these underground cities. Because you saw in that video we just played, of how they have, water stocked up, food, and beds, all these different rooms, and especially, pretty much a, what was it? Let's go back to it. If I use that word for it, command center,
medical facilities, and a command center capable of operating a nuclear war front. And although this,
why you see things that's happening, going on, the chaos that's pretty much taking place, and you have these devils tucked away, man, in comfort. But hey, they're not going to escape. It finishes off right here one more time. And they shall go into the holes of the rocks, into the caves of the earth, for fear of Yahweh by Shemao Shai, for the glory of his majesty. We're about to get that in Revelation 6, and I believe the 15th, 14th verse. We'll get in a minute. And for the glory of his majesty, when he arises to shake terribly the earth. And how is the earth going to shake terribly? By the way of these thermonuclear missiles that are going to just be bombarded upon this place, Now, let's get Amos 9:2-3, down to that point. Now it says, though they dig into hell, being like deep underground, the lowest part, then shall mine hand take them, though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. Because you saw in the video we just played, it was like around, pretty much 800 feet down. And, that was over years back. They said 1950s haven't been used. So imagine the things that they, have now and are preparing for. The advances they have made. Because you see these things that are creating, and especially will be using in the last days, especially try to, defend themselves. That's why you see them creating a space force. In order to try to go against, the Lord and the chariots and the angels that are in those vehicles. creating super soldiers, different robots, and all these different things in order to try to compete and go against the men of the Lord, the elect. All these different things these devils have, or are creating and will especially be using these last days, will not work. Kabir was an article, which I probably searched up, going to them spending billions of dollars. Million on trading. Bear for a minute. Right here, Brakta Shine. This was, I believe, 3-4 years ago. Now it says army is spending $500 million to train soldiers to fight underground. Why do you think they are, spending that much money, on these bunkers and especially train these soldiers deep underground? If no one's gonna find them, if they're that far underground, and especially as you saw in that video with all those just big doors, but they said like a couple tons that they weighed. To go back to it. Right here.
Direct nuclear hit is protected by not only one but two 3.5-foot thick doors weighing 30 tons each.
Come on, But once again, as we get into scriptures, these devils will not be able to hide nor escape this coming judgment, the destruction the Lord's going to bring upon this place. Let's see. Let's get verse 2 one more time. Though they dig into hell, then shall my hand take them. Though they climb to heaven, thence will I bring them down. I was mentioning the space station that they have, and will especially be going to. Verse 3, and though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, go to these mountains, these caves that we read earlier in Revelations 2, or Isaiah 2, Slakia. But I'll search and take them out thence, and though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence will I command the serpent, and he shall bite them. As I was mentioning, the Lord is pretty much, sick Leviathan onto them. Because Leviathan, it's like, speaking to fact, Leviathan will especially come out in these last days and will be used. Just like you have that movie, I believe, The Clash of Titans. I would say, unleash the Kraken, the Lord's going to unleash Leviathan, man. The Lord has covered all routes of escape, man. You're not going anywhere. Let's get Revelation 6:14 down to that point. Now it says, as we also play in the video, how they're creating these things in order to try to hide from a nuclear fallout or a nuclear war. So right here, it's in the scriptures, Revelation 6:14. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, going to those mushroom clouds being formed from those explosions. Well, you see many examples. You'll see military videos coming out of them testing certain missiles and all that. And you can see like a mushroom being formed from that explosion. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it was rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places, going to those explosions, man. This place is literally going to shake. Another scripture going to tell how this place will be shooken, or shake as a drunkard, man. When you see a drunk person, he's just stumbling, man. Not able to stay still. Let's get a few verses down. 15th verse. Now it says, in the kings of the earth, I was mentioning the elites of Esau, Edom, the upper echelon, and the great men and the rich men and the chief captains and the mighty men and every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and the rocks of the mountains. You're pretty much going to have everyone trying to escape, trying to flee away and hide, especially from the Lord, man. Because that's going to how Yahweh has come back to slay, man. He come back with a sword. I came not to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. Come back to slay. He come back angry, man. And those of our people that don't repent and take heed, you're about to take part in the destruction the Lord's going to bring upon this place, man. And you do not want that smoke. Get one more verse, I think. 16. It says, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb, as we read in Isaiah 2. Hide us from the Lord and his majesty. And said, mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb, which the Lamb represents Yahweh Shai now. Can you on with a few more scriptures? Short lesson through the Spirit, kind of already, touched on this on one of my latest lessons once again. But, Lord's will is still edifying and, pushing these points across. Jeremiah 16:16, because once again, they've been had these underground cities and, trying to prepare and try to, escape their coming judgment, man. Because ultimately, these devils know, specifically, these elites of Esau, Edom, Jeremiah 16:16 is why you see them, trying to prepare for things, especially trying to rush and implement their plans, because the kingdom is coming to an end. Revelation 12:12, they know that they have a pretty short time. But now it says, behold, I'll send for many fishers, saith Yahweh Bashim Shai. Now, who are those fishers? The prophets, the men of the Lord. You know, what's the bait? The Bible is words, is truth, is knowledge, and understanding. That's the bait. You know, who are they fishing for? The elect. Now it says, and they shall fish them, and after I'll send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain, and from every hill, and out of the holes of the rocks. So pretty soon, Yahweh Bashim Shai is going to turn his fishers into those hunters, man. You know, kind of going back to one of my latest lessons, I went to, you know, spiritual power, and how it was to be a standard against our enemies. As well as the hunters, you know, mentioned, you know, pretty much also, you know, going into, you know, the angels, you know, death angels wasn't sent out upon this place, upon these people. You're not going to be able to hide from the Lord, man. Especially when the Lord gives his men that power. You know, scripture goes to how the Lord's going to use his men as his battle axe, his weapons of war. You know, and also going back to Isaiah 41, how shall those new sharp threshing instruments having teeth, you know, should make the hills as chaffs, you know. But let's continue on. Got a few more, and we'll shut down from there. Jeremiah 23 and 24, as I was mentioning, can any hide himself in secret places that shall not see him? Say to Yahweh Bashim Shai, you can't escape. You know, there's no hiding from Yahweh Bashim Shai, man. The Lord created this place. Where do you think you're going? Can any hide himself in secret places that I shall not see him? Saith Yahweh Bashim Shai. Do not I fill heaven and earth, saith the Lord? So you can't hide from the Lord once again, just to, you know, push that point home. Now let's get a few more scriptures. Probably get Isaiah 14 first. Or let's get these last two. Let's get 2 Peter, and then we'll get Isaiah 34. So get Isaiah 34 first, and we'll get 2 Peter. Now it says, come near ye nations, do hear and hearken ye people of the earth, hear and all that therein the world, and all things that come forth of it. Now this is the coming destruction that Yahweh Bashim Shai is going to unleash upon this place, man. You know, upon Babylon the Great, and upon these devils, and upon our wicked people. For the indignation of Yahweh Bashim Shai is upon all nations, and is free upon all their armies. Because you also have many people that will be, you know, many locations that will be hit by these missiles. Now it says, he hath utterly destroyed them, he had delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come out of the carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. It's going to a ton of death, man. A ton of judgment. The Lord's finna, you know, ring out upon this place, man. Now it says, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. And as I was mentioning, you know, the heavens being rolled together as a scroll, going to those mushroom clouds. And all hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, going to, you know, just the amount of the heat that's going to be emitted from those explosions, man, those missiles. You know, another scripture goes to how people are going to be pretty much evaporated just by standing upon their feet, man. You know, how their tongue shall be consumed away in their mouth, you know, just completely evaporated, turned to dust. You know, little examples of what happened to Hiroshima. And that missile doesn't compare to anything that, you know, these devils have now. You know, because back then you could see people's shadows being casted on the walls and all that. And all the hosts shall fall down as the leaf falls from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. Now it says, verse 5, main point, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Now, where that sword speaking of those thermonuclear missiles, those ICBMs, the Yahweh Bashim Shai is going to bring out upon this place. One thing is a send a barrage, man. Let's get the word barrage. Look at that. A concentrated artillery bombardment over a wide area. And that's what Yahweh Bashim Shai is going to send upon this place. A barrage, man. A concentrated outpouring as of questions or blows. That's fire right there. Let's continue on. Right here. For my soul shall be bathed in heaven, and behold, it shall come upon Idumea, another word for Edom, or Esau, but and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The Lord's also going to destroy a lot of our wicked people, man. Going to Zechariah 13:8. Now it says, the sword of Yahweh Bashim Shai filled with blood is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of kidneys of rams, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For Yahweh Bashim Shai, they sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. And, you know, what we do when they'll make those sacrifices, they would throw the fat into the fire. Well, it's going to be thermonuclear fire, man, that they be thrown into. But now, let's get these last three. 2 Peter 3 and 10. And we'll shut down from there. And it said, but the day of the Lord comes as a thief in the night. Come unexpected, those that are not watching, those that are not paying attention. You know, those that are not awake. You know, those are not keeping their eyes seen, they're coming unexpected to you. Of course, we don't know the exact date, the exact hour our Lord's going to return. But we're getting signs, to measure the times that we're in with the second Advent 9 and 1, Habakkuk 2 and 3. And we're getting closer and closer to the end. Those are our people that are continuing lollygagging and playing around, not taking these things serious and not waking out of that deep sleep. They will be destroyed. Now, so the day of the Lord comes a thief in the night, in which the heaven shall pass away with great noise, go into those different explosions. And this is Esau, Edom's heaven, his kingdom, his rulership shall pass away with great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the work that therein shall be burned up. So things are going to be completely just turned to dust, man, evaporated. Especially the people that's in it, man. And that's why it keeps going to how we persuade men through the fear or through the terror of Yahweh by Shema Shai. Because if you don't repent, this is what's coming to you. This is what's coming to you. If you've seen that movie Terminator, one of the oldies, what happened with, I forgot her exact name, but there's a little scene where they pretty much see a nuclear missile explode in the city, where she's holding to that gate, and just people are just being consumed in that fire, man. Devoured by it. And that's what's coming. Yahweh by Shema Shai can, extend out to the period of how long it may feel to you. It wouldn't just happen in mere seconds, man. Lord can make it feel like an eternity. So hey, you do not want that smoke, man. Now let's close out with these last two. Let's get number 35. But now it says, so you should not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that shed therein. Now who shed that blood? How did Esau even get his kingdom, man? Through lies, through deceit, through the rape, rob, and murder, through the bloodshed of our people. And this devil has to pay for things that he has done. So him trying to, build these bunkers, these underground cities, thinking that they'll be able to hide out and escape this nuclear fallout, this nuclear war, and come back on the surface and rebuild. You're not going to, man. Because the Lord's going to throw you right into chains, man. You're going into captivity. You're going to be conquered. Just as we were. Now it says, so you do not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood defileth the land, and the land can be cleansed of the blood that shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed. So the devil's blood is required. So just going to get that quick scripture going to the destruction that these devils, or the judgment that they will receive, and they're not going to escape. Now Isaiah 14, 21 through 22, down to that point. And we'll shut down from there. Like I said, I don't want to make it a super long lesson. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. Because of Esau, what we told, that the devils are going to pay for the crimes against Israel, the Israelites, the 12 tribes, and, they say, we didn't do anything, I didn't own any slaves, I didn't do any of that, I don't feel that way, and that doesn't mean you didn't do anything in your past life or your forefathers. So, you're going to pay. Prepare slaughter for the children for the iniquity of their fathers. Why Scripture going to tell they complain of an ungodly father. But now it says that they do not rise nor possess the land nor fill the face of the world with cities. For I'll rise up against them, say Yahweh by Shema Shai of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and the remnant and the son and nephew, say Yahweh by Shema Shai. Scripture going to Isaiah 13. And I feel the scripture going to how America, aka Babylon the Great, will never be inhabited again. So pretty much at the main point already, just tying it up. As you see these things that those are creating and have created and do have already, and especially will be put into use, if not already, wouldn't doubt it if they're, in these bunkers, these underground cities already, especially things that are happening and taking place, especially dealing with all these different chariot sightings, man, that we're seeing. But once again, pretty much the main point already, Lord, and you're edified throughout the whole thing, and I want to tie these points to the best of my ability. But I do want to give all praises, all honor, all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, the bodies of the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, 14 says truth. Peace and blessings to a hope collective Israel, and shalom, see you next one, Lord willing.